Imagine stepping onto a multi-billion-dollar cruise ship, thinking you've outsmarted the system because you've found a deal. But the second you beep that keycard, you're no longer a guest, you're data. From the spa's today only bundle to the way your cabin's air is recycled, the lines have spent decades perfecting the art of the invisible upsell. You're being tracked, nudged, and overcharged for things you didn't even know were free. Today, we're opening the side they don't market. 25 cruise secrets for 2025, and secret number 7 solves the embarkation nightmare forever. 1. The cabin upgrade trap. You get that email. Exclusive upgrade offer. It feels like you've won the lottery. A balcony for just $200 more? Most passengers jump on it immediately, thinking the cruise line is doing them a favor. But here's the cold, hard truth. These deals are often just inventory dumps. I've seen cruisers take these upgrades only to realize their new, premium, room is directly under the 24-hour jogging track or right above the anchor winch. You retrading a perfectly placed midship interior cabin for a noisy balcony where the vibrations rattle your nightstand at 5 a.m. The cruise line isn't rewarding your loyalty. They are filling the rooms that smart cruisers refuse to book. But here's the catch. Once you accept that upgrade, you usually lose your right to move back to your original, quiet room. You end up paying more money for a significantly worse night's sleep. It turns your relaxing vacation into a week of fatigue and frustration. You're paying a premium to be the line's problem solver for their unbooked, noisy inventory. Before you click accept, pull up a deck plan and check exactly what is above and below that new cabin number. If it's a guarantee status with no room number assigned, do not take the bait. 2. Post-booking price drops. Most cruisers think that once they swipe their card and book a trip, the price is set in stone. You probably assume that if the fare drops next month, you're just out of luck. That is exactly what the cruise lines want you to believe. But the truth is, your fare isn't actually locked in until the very second you make your final payment. Imagine you book a 7-day sailing on Royal Caribbean for $2,400. 3 weeks later, a new flash sale drops that same cabin to $1,800. If you don't say anything, the cruise line simply pockets that $600 difference as pure profit. I've talked to travelers who saved enough on a single phone call to pay for their entire flight to the port. Most people never even check the website again once they have their confirmation number, but that's a massive mistake. By not monitoring the price, you are essentially paying a cluelessness tax. You're subsidizing the cheaper fares of the person in the cabin right next to yours. It's your money, and in 2025, the lines are more aggressive with these price fluctuations than ever before. Use a price tracking tool or check the booking site once a week, and if the fare drops before your final payment, call the line to request a reprice or the difference in onboard credit. 3. Not every passenger gets the same perks. Have you ever noticed that the person sitting next to you at the bar has a free drink package, while you had to pay $700 for yours? It's not because they are a higher loyalty tier. It's because of where they live. Cruise lines use highly aggressive regional pricing and perks that most people never realize exist. In 2025, it's more common than ever. A cruiser booking from the UK might get free gratuities and free Wi-Fi automatically bundled into their fare to entice that specific market. Meanwhile, a US-based cruiser looking at the exact same ship, same cabin, and same date gets none of it. They are looking at two different versions of the same product. The cruise lines are betting on the fact that you won't check the terms and conditions for other markets or IP addresses. You could be leaving $500 to $1,000 in value on the table simply because of your location. You're essentially paying more for the exact same room and the exact same steak dinner. Before you put down a deposit, ask a travel agent to check if there are any residency-based promotions or international rates that you might qualify for to maximize your bundled value. 4. Avoid Deck 14, the built-in noise zone. You're scrolling through the deck plans, looking for that perfect high-deck experience. Deck 14 looks amazing. You're just steps away from the pool, the buffet, and the sunshine. Most people think being high up is a sign of luxury, but on a megaship, Deck 14 is often the built-in noise zone that the line prays you won't notice. Here's what happens at 6 a.m. every morning. While you're trying to sleep in, the crew members on the pool deck are dragging hundreds of heavy metal sun loungers across the floor. On Deck 14, that sounds like a construction site right above your pillow. I've seen families on NCL and Carnival ships lose hours of sleep because they wanted to be close to the action. They didn't realize that the ceiling of Deck 14 is the floor of the loudest, busiest area on the entire vessel. You wake up grumpy, tired, and needing a nap before your excursion even starts. It ruins the peaceful vibe you paid for and makes your premium location feel like a total ripoff. Follow the sandwich rule and only book a cabin that has other passenger cabins directly above it and directly below it to ensure a silent night. 5. Face ID and medallion tracking are always on. From the moment you step onto the gangway, you aren't just a passenger anymore. You're a moving data point. In 2025, cruise ships are some of the most surveilled environments on the planet. Whether it's facial recognition at the gangway or Bluetooth-enabled medallions, the ship always knows exactly where you are and what you're doing. Take Princess Cruises' Ocean Medallion, for example. It's slick and convenient. Your door unlocks as you walk up. But here's the catch. The ship is also tracking how long you linger in the high-end jewelry shop. If the system sees you looking at a watch for 5 minutes, don't be surprised when you get a special discount notification on your phone an hour later. They are using your location to nudge your spending in real time, creating an environment where you are constantly being marketed to without even realizing it. Your privacy is the price you pay for convenience. It makes you much more susceptible to impulse buys you didn't actually want, all because a computer algorithm decided you were ready to spend. If you're uncomfortable with the constant surveillance, you can opt out of the marketing and personalization features in the app settings, or simply leave your wearable in the safe when you aren't using it. 6. The hidden self-laundry schedule. Most cruise lines would prefer if you never found the self-service laundry room. They want you to look at that $5 per sock valet service and think it's your only option. They intentionally omit laundry rooms from the main deck maps or hide them in the most obscure corners of the passenger decks to drive up their service revenue. I've seen passengers spend $120 on a bag of laundry special mid-cruise because they ran out of clean shirts and were tired of the heat. Meanwhile, 2 decks down, there was a washer and dryer they could have used for $3. The lines would rather sell you a $60 wash and fold bundle than have you spend 5 minutes doing it yourself. They are banking on your ignorance of the ship's layout to pad their bottom line. You end up overpacking just in case, or spending a fortune on basic chores. It adds unnecessary stress and cost to a trip that is supposed to be all-inclusive. Search your specific ship's name plus self-service laundry on a fan forum before you leave. And bring a small pack of detergent pods to avoid the $2 per box markup on board. 7. The embarkation elevator shortcut. Embarkation day is pure chaos. Thousands of people are trying to get to their rooms at the exact same time, and the elevators become a nightmare. Most cruisers stand there for 20 minutes in a crowded lobby, getting frustrated before the vacation even begins. But here is secret number 7 that the veterans use to skip the lines every single time. On big ships from MSC or Carnival, the main elevators are a total bottleneck. However, there are often secondary service or staff elevators near the theater or the far aft of the ship that are temporarily open to guests during boarding. While the herd is fighting over the glass elevators in the atrium, the smart cruisers are walking 100 feet down the hall to an empty lift. Most people are too afraid to explore, so they stay where it's crowded. You waste your first hour on the ship in a hot, crowded hallway instead of being the first person with a drink in your hand at the buffet. It's a terrible way to start a trip you've been looking forward to for months. Don't follow the herd to the first elevator you see. Walk to the very front or very back of the ship, where the secondary elevator banks are almost always empty during boarding. 8. Ask for mobility priority at tender ports. If your ship is docking at a tender port, like Grand Cayman or Belize, prepare for a logistical disaster. Most passengers have to go to a lounge, take a ticket, and wait 2 hours just to get on a tiny boat to shore. But you don't need a $5,000 suite to get priority access and save your day. I've seen families miss half their morning in port because they were stuck in Tender Group 24. What they didn't know is that if you have even a minor mobility issue, or even just a temporary injury like a bad knee, you can often bypass the entire wait. Cruise lines are terrified of injuries on those narrow tender stairs, so they prioritize anyone who needs a bit of extra time. You aren't skipping the line. You're ensuring you can board safely. You lose 25% of your time in a beautiful destination because you were stuck in a stuffy lounge waiting for your number to be called. That's time you could have spent on the beach or exploring a local market. Visit guest services on the first night and politely mention any mobility concerns. They will often provide you with a priority tender pass that gets you on the very first boat to shore. 9. Don't assume the cabin air is fresh. You walk into your cabin and it smells clean, but don't be fooled. To save massive amounts of money on fuel and electricity, modern cruise ships recirculate up to 70% of the air in the cabin corridors. You aren't always breathing fresh sea air. You re-breathing the recycled breath of 3,000 other people through a shared ventilation system. This is how the cruise ship cough spreads so fast. If someone 3 doors down has a cold, the HVAC system is pulling that air into the shared ducts. If you have a neighbor smoking on their balcony, that smoke can get pulled right into your ventilation intake. Most cruisers just accept the stuffy feeling as part of the experience, but there's a way to force a purge of that stale air. You wake up with a dry throat, allergies, or even a minor bug that ruins your appetite for the rest of the week. It's an invisible health hazard that the cruise lines never talk about. Keep your bathroom fan running 24/7. It's the only direct exhaust to the outside. And if you have a balcony, crack the door for 10 minutes every morning to completely swap out the cabin air. 10. Specialty restaurants often go half price in port. Everyone knows the specialty steakhouse costs $50 to $60 for dinner. Most people assume that price is fixed and never even look at the menu again. But if you're smart, you can eat that same high-end food for a fraction of the cost. The secret is knowing when the ship is empty and the staff is desperate for covers. On port days, the ship is a ghost town. To keep their staff busy and make a little extra cash, premium venues like Carnival, Cucina del Capitano, or Royal Caribbean Chops Grill often offer a port day lunch for as low as $15. You get the same premium service, the same high-quality ingredients, and a much quieter atmosphere without the $150 bill at the end of the week. You end up paying triple the price for a dinner simply because you wanted to eat on a sea day when everyone else was doing the same thing. It's a massive waste of your onboard budget. Check your cruise app the second the ship docks. Look for lunch specials or port day discounts in the specialty dining section that only appear while the ship is at the pier. 11. Included dining isn't what you think. The all-inclusive tag on your cruise fare is a bit of a psychological trick. Yes, the buffet is free, but in 2025, cruise lines are using data to make that food just repetitive enough to nudge you toward the paid restaurants. It's called decision fatigue, and the lines have mastered it to perfection. By day 4, the buffet starts feeling like the same 3 ingredients shuffled into different pans. Suddenly, the $40 per person Italian joint downstairs looks like a life raft in a sea of monotony. The cruise lines intentionally keep the buffet menus predictable so that your brain craves the variety of the premium options. They aren't trying to feed you. They're trying to exhaust you into spending more. You end up spending an extra $400 over the week on food you thought was already covered in your $2,000 ticket. It's a hidden cost that adds up before you even realize why you're redoing it. Hunt for the hidden free venues like the specialty cafes, the pizza stations, or the pub lunches. They often serve higher quality, unique items that aren't on the main buffet line. 12. Off-menu classics in the main dining room. You sit down in the main dining room, look at the menu, and realize nothing looks good. Most passengers feel like they have to pick from the 3 or 4 items listed that night, even if they hate the ingredients. They don't realize that the kitchen is actually holding a secret menu of classics that they can make every single night for any guest who asks. Even if it's not printed on the new 2025 minimalist menus, the kitchen always has the ingredients for the basics. You can almost always order a plain grilled salmon, a strip steak, or a simple chicken breast with steamed vegetables. I've seen cruisers go hungry because they thought they were stuck with the fancy, overly complicated options of the night. The waiter won't offer these unless you ask, as they want to push the featured dishes. You leave a free dinner unsatisfied and end up ordering a $15 pizza or room service later that night out of sheer hunger. You're paying extra because you didn't know the basics were still available. If you don't like anything on the rotating menu, just ask your waiter for the always available classics. They are free and consistently higher quality than the experimental dishes. 13. The buffet's danger zone. Cruise ships are incredibly clean, but there is one specific spot that is a total danger zone for your health. Most people worry about the food quality or the pool water, but the real threat isn't the shrimp, it's the tongs. The communal serving utensils are the #1 way that norovirus and other bugs spread through a ship in record time. Think about it. Hundreds of people touch those metal handles every hour. All it takes is one person who didn't use the hand sanitizer properly to touch the tongs. Then you touch them. Then you pick up a slice of bread with your bare hands. Within 24 hours, your vacation is over and you're stuck in a mandatory 48-hour cabin quarantine. The line does their best to clean, but they can't wipe every handle every 10 seconds. You trade your entire vacation budget for a week of being sick in a small room because of one 10-second interaction at the buffet. It's the fastest way to turn a dream trip into a total nightmare. Always use a paper napkin to grip the buffet tongs, or better yet, stick to the made-to-order stations where the crew serves the food directly to your plate. 14. Skip the tap while the ship's in port. You've heard that cruise ship water is the cleanest in the world because of their high-tech desalination plants. That is true most of the time. But there is a huge catch when the ship is sitting at the pier. While the ship is in port, those high-tech systems often shut down, and the ship starts bunkering or buying water from the local city supply to refill the tanks. If you're in a port with older infrastructure or different purification standards, that local water might have a different mineral content or different bacteria than what your stomach is used to. I've seen passengers get hit with a nasty case of traveler's stomach just from drinking a glass of tap water in their cabin while the ship was docked in the Caribbean. The ship filters it, but it's not the same as the distilled water you get at sea. A minor stomach bug can ruin an entire excursion day, leaving you stuck in bed while the ship is in a beautiful destination you paid thousands to see. Only drink bottled water or canned soda while the ship is in port, and wait until you're back in open water to trust the tap again. 15. The drinks package is a bet most people lose. The unlimited drinks package is the ultimate psychological trap. It feels like freedom, but for the cruise line, it's a math game they almost always win. They price these packages so high, often $70 to $100 per day, that you have to drink professionally just to avoid losing money every single day of the trip. Take a standard $75 per day package. Once you add the mandatory 18% gratuity, you're looking at nearly $90 a day. If you spend all day on a shore excursion, you might only have time for 2 drinks in the evening. You just paid $90 for $30 worth of alcohol. The cruise line just made $60 of pure profit off your desire for convenience. They are betting that you will be too busy or too tired to actually drink your money's worth. You feel a weird pressure to drink your money's worth, leading to bad hangovers and a vacation you barely remember. You're literally paying to feel worse. Use the 5-drink rule. If you don't plan on having at least 5 cocktails every single day, including port days, you are far better off paying as you go. 16. Spa discounts that feel like a deal. Until you do the math. The today-only spa special looks like a steal. $129 for a 50-minute massage. In 2025, that sounds like a bargain compared to the usual $200 price tag. But here is the secret. That 50-minute massage is actually a 35-minute massage followed by a 15-minute high-pressure sales pitch for miracle creams and detox kits. I've seen guests walk into the spa for a relaxing treatment and walk out with a $400 bill because they were guilt-tripped into buying exclusive seaweed oils and anti-aging serums that they could buy on Amazon for $20. The spa staff are actually third-party contractors who work on heavy commission. Their job isn't to relax your muscles. It's to turn you into a retail customer while you're in a vulnerable, relaxed state. You leave the spa feeling more stressed about your bank account than you did before the massage. It completely defeats the purpose of pampering yourself. The second you lay down on the table, tell the therapist, "I am not interested in buying any products today. I just want to enjoy the treatment for the full allotted time." 17. Unlimited internet. Isn't really unlimited. Cruise lines love to throw around the word Starlink to make you think you're getting home speed internet at sea. They sell you an unlimited package for $20 a day, promising you can stream your favorite shows or work from the balcony. But in the cruise world, unlimited does not mean unrestricted. The The ship's firewall is constantly monitoring your bandwidth. If you try to stream a movie on a busy sea day, the system will automatically throttle your connection down to a crawl. I've seen people pay $150 for a week of Wi-Fi only to realize they CA and even get a FaceTime call to connect because the ship has blacklisted high-bandwidth traffic during peak hours. You're paying for a fast lane but being forced into a traffic jam. You spend your entire evening frustrated, staring at a loading circle, while the cruise line keeps your non-refundable $150. It's the most expensive bad internet you'll ever buy. Download all your movies, maps, and music to your device before you leave home, and only use the ship's Wi-Fi for basic messaging and social media. 18. Hidden app deals on Wi-Fi. If you can hold out for just 48 hours, you can save a fortune on the ship's biggest expenses. The cruise line's app is a psychological battlefield. On day 1, they show you the full price to create a sense of urgency. But by day 3, the panic discounts start to appear as the line tries to capture any remaining unspent budget. They track the data in real time. If the premium Wi-Fi isn't selling as well as they expected, they will drop a flash sale notification on your phone on Tuesday afternoon. I've seen day 1 packages for $180 drop to $70 for the remainder of the cruise, just 2 days later. Most cruisers have already paid the high price, while the patient ones get the exact same service for 60% off. It's a game of chicken, and the cruise line usually blinks first. You pay the impatience premium and essentially fund the discounts of the smarter passengers around you. You're paying more for less total time of use. Never buy a non-essential package on the first day. Wait until the 3rd morning and check the offers tab in the app for a mid-voyage discount. 19. The casino isn't just about luck. The ship's casino isn't just a place to lose money. It's a massive marketing engine designed to keep you coming back for years. Unlike a casino in Las Vegas or Atlantic City, the ship's casino is completely unregulated by state laws. They are designed to collect your spending data just as much as your cash. Most casual gamblers play for 20 minutes and leave. But if you use your room card in the machines, the system tracks your theoretical loss. Even if you only lose $50, if you play for 3 hours, the system sees you as a high-volume player. 2 weeks after you get home, you'll get an email for a free cruise offer. The cruise line knows that if they get you back on the ship for free, they'll make $1,000 back from you in the casino and at the bars. You miss out on thousands of dollars in free travel because you didn't bother to put your room card in the machine for a $1.20 bet. It's the only way to beat the house in the long run. Always use your room card in the slot machines, even for small bets. It's the only way to trigger the free cruise marketing offers for your next vacation. 20. The ship is a floating retail machine. Tax-free, duty-free. The signs in the ship's promenade are designed to make you feel like you're getting a deal that's impossible on land. But in 2025, the duty-free shop is often one of the most expensive places on Earth to buy anything. They rely on the fact that you can't easily check prices while you're at sea. I've seen people buy a bottle of exclusive scotch for $1.90 on a ship, thinking they saved money, only to find it for $55 at their local Costco when they got home. The cruise lines mark up the base price of watches, jewelry, and liquor so that even with the tax-free discount, you're still paying a 20% premium over land prices. It's a retail illusion designed for a captive audience. You spend your hard-earned vacation money on a deal that actually leaves you poorer than if you had just shopped at home. You're paying for the experience of buying it, not the actual value. Never buy luxury goods on a ship without doing a 30-second Google search for the model number to see what it actually costs at a reputable land-based dealer. Cruising in 2025 is a game of strategy. The ships are more beautiful than ever, but they are also more efficient at taking your money. By knowing these 25 secrets, you can enjoy the luxury without the surcharge fatigue. You've now got the tools to sleep better, eat better, and save thousands on your next sailing. If this helped you plan your trip, hit that subscribe button and join our community.